Okay.
All right.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, where do I
yeah,
ran the installer yesterday. So now what do I do?
okay. Let's go into the location where your installer is.
Did it create anything on here?
Yeah. As part of the installer, it asks you for a folder location directory.
Right. So you didn't put anything in my start menu, is what you're saying?
No, it does not.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So what we need to do, what we should probably do first is we need to set an environment variable to this location. So if you want to copy your address bar. So then we'll need to go into your system settings to set a system environment variable.
Oh, let's see. Remember how to do that?
Right click on computer. That should, yeah.
Yeah, there's the one.
Yeah. I think properties.
That's what I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've mucked around with it.
And the advanced there.
Yeah.
So at the bottom button there, environment variables. So want to add on the bottom chunk. So let's add a new guy.
Into path?
No, it's a new variable,
Okay.
and it's all caps shad_base. Yep, exactly. All right, that's good. And this will actually require a reboot because Windows needs systems to be rebooted for.
I thought it was just when something gets restarted, it picks up the new variables.
Is that right? Yeah, you may be right.
Yeah. I don't want to reboot if we can afford it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, see, it's there.
Okay. Yeah, good, okay. All right. So then let's get a command prompt.
Now, what about license? Are we going to have a license issues?
No, you can put it in. Okay. We sent it last week sometime. We can put that in. But for now, just we need to get a command prompt and cd into that directory. All right, and then from here, just type in SB_INSTA install with 1 L. SB install.
Like that?
And that's it. Yeah, and that runs another little piece of the installer. So that creates a service that's needed for controlling the objects, the Windows service, and everything looks okay. All right, so now that means that that's the last part of the install. So now, yeah, let's if you do want to find the zip file that we sent with the license in it.
Looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who would it have been sent under? Let's try Shadowbase.
Let me check. We sent it to Phil. I forget if we CC'd anyone else.
I'll send it again. That's easy enough.
Yeah, I remember seeing it when I came across. I don't think I saved it anywhere.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'll send it over.
Okay, I got it.
It always works. As soon as I'm about to do something, you find it.
Got to figure out why it takes so long to do some things. I've got a solid state drive, and yet some things just take forever. So, okay. What do you want me to do with this?
So yeah, you want to grab that file and drag it into the data directory in the Shadowbase folder. And then the data, yeah, there we go. And there it is, ShadPass, good.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and open it up actually. While we're here, we can verify that the ShadPass works. All right, so there's 3 systems. Which one is this one that you're on now?
Laptop 3.
Okay, perfect. So then let's go back to the data directory and open up another file there, shadparm.ini. All right, so everything here is commented out except that general line, so I'm just going to text you a parameter to set. So if you just grab that line and put it right underneath the general section. Yep, good. Yeah, go ahead and save that. And so let's go back into the directory, the Shadowbase directory, and go up a level. We go into the bin directory, and then sbmon.exe. You'll probably have to run it as an administrator. And this is the command center for Shadowbase on Windows. It's this controls creating objects, starting and stopping them. So what we can do is just type in license and hit enter. And this will verify, there we go, yep. So there's your system license, and it's got all those settings turned on, and it expires August 24th. So that just confirms that the license is validated, and so we're good to go. Okay, so at this point, what we should probably do is turn our attention towards SQL Server.
Which one? I got a bazillion on this system.
Okay, yeah, any that's local that you have the most control over, I guess.
Okay, well, help me find that. I don't normally play with it very much, so.
Okay.
Do I want to?
I guess if you have SQL Server Management Studio. Yeah, there we go. Actually, while that's starting, can we pull up the your list of Windows services on this machine?
Mm-hmm.
And let's see the SQL Server guys on here. Okay, so I guess any of those 3 SQL Server guys we could use. I mean, if all things saying the same, you want to try just using SQL Server 2012?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right, cool. So we need to log in to that guy with Management Studio.
Let's see. Why does that show up twice? It's on another window. Now I can move it.
Okay.
Had to log in or it wouldn't let me move it.
Gotcha. All right, so we will need a SQL Server authenticated user to connect into with Shadowbase. I mean, if it's the easiest thing will probably be to just use SA if you have the password for that guy.
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, let's see.
Try the default.
I just use my Windows.
Right.
Try SDSA.
If you go to, I think security has the logins. Yeah, logins. And then SA. I think you may be able to change it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you should be able to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so we can use SA. So we need to come up with a database that we can use, that we can play with. It'll contain the source tables that we'll be replicating. So whichever one if you want to create a new one or use one of those, it's fine. We can create some dummy tables to replicate, just some test tables, but we'll just need that.
Okay.
Well, if we can create a simple dummy table, that'd probably be better, right?
But yeah, that's fine. So I don't know which database you want to use for that.
Let's create
Well,
a
we should
new
be
one.
able to create a new one, right?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah, sure.
What just happened?
Okay. There we go. Okay. So now we need to double check some security things.
Got a database, but no tables yet. Don't we need to create a table or two?
Yeah, sure. Let's create a table or two.
Okay.
Let's change it. If we change it from nchar, I think nchars are screwy. That might be difficult to deal with. Yeah, that works. Okay.
All right, and where do I?
You want to make the first one a key column somehow? I think. How would you do that? Can you right click on it?
That's what I was trying to see. Yeah.
There
Whoa. No. How did I get this? There we go.
Okay, that should do, I think.
All right. Cool. Now, where is our save?
the save button at the top left, or in the taskbar?
Well, you say there's a save button in the taskbar. I don't see a save button.
You were there.
The floppy disk icon in the top left. There you go. Cool. That works. Okay. So now we let's actually go back to that security where the SA properties, the SA user properties.
All right, let's see where we were.
Cool. I just want to double check some security settings, permissions. I guess go to server roles on the left side. And right, okay. I guess user mapping, I think. And we want to master it needs public access. It should have. Okay, it needs to be. I guess make it DB owner on test here. You check that DB owner guy. Yeah. I think that'll work. DB owner. Read and write. Okay, good. Go ahead and hit OK there. I think that's all we need to do. Oh. Okay. Let me just double check what ours looks like. I guess for now, let's just go ahead and cancel. It might be okay without that change. All right, so okay, we have that. Next, what we need to do is configure an explicit ODBC data source. So if you go into your control panel, your administrative tools. I should confirm this is 64-bit database, I assume.
I would assume what?
Yeah, okay. Let's assume until we have reason not to. All right, so let's go to System DSN tab at the top, and let's add a new one here. And we'll want to add is there a 10 the latest SQL Server 11? Yeah, let's go ahead and add an 11 SQL Server native client. And you can give it the name of Shadowbase with a capital S. And then description you can leave blank, and the server you want to point it to the server we're using. something? I guess you can type it in. Actually, you want to do it's just it's the SQL Server 2012 guy. So it's just all caps SQL underscore SVR underscore 2012. I think that's all we need to do. Yeah, let's go ahead and try next. And then you want to use the SQL Server authentication with the SA guy that we just updated. That I think you can leave all default. Go next, and same with that. And then test data source. Huh. Related. Server's not found. Huh. Okay. Why didn't it find the server if it's local? I guess let's go ahead and hit OK. Oh. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Why I wouldn't find it.
We need to.
I think for the server name, you have to specify laptop 3/SQL Server 2012. If you look in the
I thought. Gotcha. Okay. I thought if it was local, it would find it. Yeah. Okay. Ah, there we go. Do like re-enter it or something? Oh, that just says login failed. That's there we go. Good. Okay. So that's there. All right. So now we can start to run some stuff in the database to configure Shadowbase. Oh, actually, sorry. One more thing before we do that. If you could pull up your Windows services, I believe. And we want to find, if you can pull that to the right, does it have the user listed? Or sorry, the scroll bar to the right? Yeah, that works. Yeah, look at log on as. Okay. So that user there, log on as NT service, everything to the right of the slash, we need to use that in a command from the command prompt. So that's SQL $SQL Server 2012. Okay. Perfect. So if we go to your, oh, sorry. Yeah, command prompts. That works, your administrative guy. So you're in the right location. So I'm going to send you this command. And go. So you'll have to put in that user in the user spot.
Do I need to go to bin?
No, actually, this is where you'll want to run it from. So yeah, if you just do the up arrow, and then you can modify your command and replace user with your with that guy that you captured.
No, do I want to type in NT service or just the MSS?
Just the MSS, yeah, starting past the slash.
Say that again?
Yeah, just
The slash?
everything to the right of that slash. No slash, just the MS, yeah.
MSS.
Extra S there.
Dollar SQL SVR 12.
You have one extra S in your MS SQL. Yep, that should do it. Good, good. Okay. So that basically just opened up permission for the, it allows the database to now access the directory structure here, make changes as it needs to. We may need to run it again actually later once we create more files, but for now we can move on. Okay, so now what we want to do is there's some scripts that we need to run in the database, and they are the one is stored in a file in the Shadowbase directory.
No, not that one. In this one. No, same one again. Where'd it go?
The bin, yeah, I think so. So it's up a level. Oh, sorry, it's actually in bin. My mistake. So it is the top. No, where is it? Shad MS SQL install.sql in the bottom half. Yeah, that guy. So this is a script file. We just want to basically run it from that database in the Management Studio. Bin. All right. Before you run it, go ahead in the pull down on the top left, change it from master to your test database. If you click back on the script, actually, on the and then the pull down on the top left where it says master.
Oh,
yeah, there we go. So that'll run under test. Okay, good. That should be all we have to do. We should be able to run this now, execute. And see. Okay, so there are some other settings. Yeah, let me Google this just to see what the command is to enable it. I think there'll be a few of these, but okay, let's give this a try. I'll send you the block here. That's a whole block of SQL commands that you should be able to run from a separate session.
Let's see. Where do I want to get a new one?
New query button at the top left, I think, should pull it
There
up.
you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, you're still in test. That should work. Yeah. Okay. Now let's try it again. You're the guy. Good. Okay, that was all. Okay, good. So that was all successful. So now that created, it created some kind of metadata stuff that Shadowbase uses for doing source collection in the table.
Yeah, hang on. I want to capture some of the stuff that you put in there
Yeah, good idea.
because the others are going to need to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. At this point, okay. So now there are some commands you need to run.
Hang on. One other thing, real quick. Let me grab this.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what we've done so far. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, let me see. Your table. What's your table name that we created? Oh yeah, test table 1. That's right. Table 1. Okay, so now there are 3 commands. I'll just send you one at a time. These are now store procedure, or yeah, they're little store procedures that we need to run to kind of configure these tables for replication. So that's the first one there.
I'm sorry. Say that again now.
There are three store procedures that we just installed. We need to run them to configure the table for replication now.
Okay. And where are these stored procedures?
I just sent you the first one in chat.
Oh, in chat.
Yeah.
And I do that again from here.
Yeah, just any session should be fine. Let's make sure that runs okay. And so if we just scroll through the output, it should be just a bunch of stuff, no errors. Good, okay. So yeah, that just kind of gets information about the table and stores it. All right, so then the next one is, all right, so that's the next one, and this will actually create the trigger create script that we need to obey later. Hope I got that path right. We'll find out. Okay, this is another access thing. Let me figure out the command for this one. All right, here's another block. If you want, I can just send, if it's easier, I can send you the link to the page if you'd rather not find the block of text is annoying.
No, it's fun.
Okay. There's that one. Good. Okay, and then we can redo the trig build. Wait. Mm-hmm. Good. So let's make sure this actually works. Can we go into the Shadowbase directory, our folder? And let's cd up a level and then into the data directory. Good. Okay. So that created that SQL file there, and that's we're gonna actually we can do it now. Let's go ahead and we'll need to obey that or run that script in the session. Mm-hmm. All right, so we should be able to run this as is. Good. Okay, good. So that created a trigger on the table. So at this point, like from this point forward, anything that happens to the table.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. One more.
I guess it. Where are we?
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Now what?
And then, so yeah, at this point forward, anything that's going to happen to that table is going to attempt to be replicated. So when you create, the trigger and the trigger's enabled, that's when it'll actually start collecting events. So there's one more command to run right there. One more procedure to run. Mm-hmm. Good. And let's double check. If you go back to the data directory, this will have modified. If you look at the shaddml.ini file, yeah, good. So that stored the information about the two columns for that table. So we're in good shape. So let me, before I go on, I'll just explain. Can you go back to your little cheat sheet that you're writing? This is, I'll just to clear it up now before we get confused later. The order we did is kind of not ideal as far as making sure that stuff is in the right place before, before running certain things. So what I would actually do is, yeah, go ahead, I'll let you. What I would do is move the step where you run the trigger create script itself.
Which one is which? Which is that?
The second to last command, your run.
What line number is it on?
40. There you go. Move 40 to the bottom actually. that you want to make that your last step. And then and also if you were doing more than one table, this is good to know. You need to run the shad DML build and shad trig build for each of them, but you only run shad INI build once. So you may want to make a note of that somewhere. Yeah. And then, so yeah, you would do that for each table. Then you run shad INI build once, and then at the end you also do that for each table as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good. Okay. Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So at this point, the database is ready, and now what we need to do is configure a Shadowbase collector to collect the events.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
And where do we do that?
So that's going to be that SPMon window, the paw icon, the one right next to that in your taskbar. Here we go. All right, so I'll just give you the commands. Go ahead and type in add space all caps OPCOL opcall COL. Yep, perfect. And enter. So you're adding an object, and these are all the different types of objects you can add with Shadowbase. We're using option number 4, open collector. You can type 4 and then enter. This is the first option there, SBMS call.
Case sensitive or not?
Let's find out. I think it's not, but we'll see. Yeah, good, okay. And then this is going to be option 1. You can hit enter here. You can let it say default. Same here. Same here. Change this to MS SQL, the first option. And this is going to be your laptop 3 / server name, SQL server name. SQL, I forget. Yeah.
SQL Server under, okay.
Okay, and this is test. SA can stay, and then put in your SA password. All right, so it's configured. So at this point, we can do some starting now. Yeah, go ahead and grab that.
Okay.
Actually, let's go back to your other command prompt window and go ahead and just hit up arrow and repeat that last command. Now that we created the opcall, it's going to open up the access to those files as well. So yeah, go ahead and let that rip. So what you could even do is you could even move that step in your cheat sheet, move it down to after creating the. Well, no, we can't do that. Yeah, the thing is we need it
twice. Yeah, just do it twice.
Yeah, that's really it's simplest. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're ready to start doing stuff now. So if we go back to SBMon, just type in start space opcall. And the opcall part is case sensitive, yeah. All right, so that's going to take a few seconds to get its bearings. And hopefully it'll work, but quite honestly, it never works the first time. All right, so you can check the status of it with the status command, but that just tells you whether it's running or not. What's helpful is type in log. Hey, I can do status opcall. Okay, so it's not running. Go ahead and type in log space opcall and enter again. And one more time. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's not a terrible error because it's an error with the license. So let me double check the license and see what we need to change.
No, we had it open, right? I thought.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's just not licensed for the particular feature of doing SQL Server. I'm surprised at that. I mean, like the system itself is licensed, is not licensed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Oh, okay, I gotcha. All right, let me quick do a change here and send you a new license. This shouldn't take long.
Or you can paste it. Where are you guys located?
We are just west of Philadelphia. Where are you guys?
Westchester or further?
Not quite as far. Well, we're a little north, Malvern.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That sounds familiar. Huh.
Malvern.
Yeah, I was trying to think who it was. I did a project when I was at Tandem years ago with the guys that do MQ. And I think they were in that area.
Okay. It's a pretty big IT area.
Yeah.
A lot of different companies have their offices here, seems like.
I just remember the driving by, if that's this area I'm remembering, a huge cemetery that went back a long time.
Ah.
Coming from California, which is, barely over 100 years of
Right.
history to a place that had a couple hundred years more. So, what are we waiting on something?
Yeah, I'm working on just redoing your license quickly. Just
okay.
To make sure it's allowed to do SQL Server. Okay. All right, let me send this along. Okay. Okay, it's on its way. I sent it to Phil and Donald, so we can use it.
You emailed it.
I did, yeah. It's a. I don't think I can attach files to GoToMeeting, can I?
No, but it's not a very big file. You can just zip it, paste it in there.
Can you really? I wasn't aware of that. My mistake.
Not the file, no, but I'm just saying you can paste in the text that was in the file.
Oh, right, right.
It wasn't a very big file.
Let me do that while I'm here, instead of waiting. All right, let's give this a try.
Your screen's not shared anymore, I think, Donald. Is that intentional or?
Yeah, it was. I was trying to answer an email.
Okay, it's back. Yeah. Okay.
I only got part of it.
Yeah, I may have gotten truncated. Let me see if I can send the rest of it. Let's see, cut off right at server 2012.
Yeah, there's a limit to it. So just start with the
right after the
server 2012. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it looks a little better.
Make sure there's just, yeah, I was going to say one new line character. Okay, good. That should be good, hopefully. Can give it a try.
Okay.
You'll need to exit SVMon and start a new one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, administrator. It doesn't let you run it without administrator. Okay, just type license again. Oh. Good idea. So let's make sure there's DB SQL Server. I see it. Okay, so we should be good now. Go ahead and try start op call again. Take a little while.
Well, it's not stopping instantly like it did before, or returning. So that's a good sign.
It actually does that when it's kind of failed. For that,
Yep.
Whenever it fails, it has trouble doing a status or starting it. Yeah, take a look. Okay, so it's past that last issue, but now it's working through the connection. So at this point, if everything goes successfully, it's going to connect into the database, and also the database is going to include. There's a DLL that we ship, and that's going to get bound into the running database process, and that's also going to do some processing. So there's actually two separate kind of processes here. One is the collector, and one is the database process itself that are both doing Shadowbase things. So we're setting that all up right now. You can repeat the last. Oh, yeah.
Well, I see there's two DLLs in the bin directory. There's a user exit for API and a user exit for DLL. Are those ones that we're going to replace?
Yes. Well, those are the default ones that are used. What you'll do is you'll end up compiling your own, and then you'll specify the DLL name to use.
And where do you specify that?
That's in the configuration when we configure Shadowbase.
Okay.
The target, the guy that actually does user exit process. There are some. Mostly it's shad parm parameters used to control things. Let's try another log op call. Okay, this is getting
Bunch of
some.
errors.
Yep, and this happens because it. Hopefully this will stop. What time is it? Yeah, it should be. Could not load the DLL in. Okay, so it.
Where'd it go? I hit break. Did that kill it?
Oh, it probably did. Yeah.
I didn't want that. I just
Okay.
wanted it to stop.
Let's start it back up and just do stop op call. Okay. So let's do this. If you type in log op call, but just hit enter once, and then enter again here, and then here type in 5,000. We don't want to dump the entire log, just last 5,000 bytes. Okay. So it cannot load the DLL block or one of the DLLs it references.
Yeah, because
So
Shadowbase /bin MS SQL Server Collector. We ain't got one of them dar things.
It's at the top.
Yeah, we do.
Actually.
Up at the top. Yeah, we do up at the top.
I'm wondering if this is. I mean, this could potentially be because SQL Server doesn't know about that Shadowbase environment variable, since it was running before we set it. I'm thinking that might be the reason here. I don't know if what required, what needs to be bounced, if just the SQL Server needs to be restarted.
Now the problem is that I assume the SQL Server is going to get started by one of the lower level guys that's already running.
Okay.
Sorry, what's happening? The SQL Server is not finding the variable?
This variable, this Shadbase variable,
Yeah.
is known by our command prompt because we started the command prompt after I set the variable. However, the SQL Server and the system DLL that starts it.
Can we bounce to the SQL Server service?
It probably won't make a difference because it's the guy that starts him that shares the environment variables.
Let's see.
So the only solution here is to reboot my machine.
Well, before we do that, why don't we just bounce the service? I mean, we have nothing to lose, right? That's easy enough to do.
Do we have some way to empty the log? So
You know what? Yeah, before you restart it, let's go back to the shadparm file. There's a parameter we can set. In the bin directory. Or sorry, the data directory. All right. Here's another parameter to set under the general section. Just put it in the chat. What that basically tells it is every time the object starts, it should roll the log to it, so it'll create a fresh new file. So that'll make sure that it doesn't just fill endlessly. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and try starting up again.
Just in case.
Yeah. You can actually repeat the last command with a slash. just a regular slash command. It'll that one.
This one?
No, actually, sorry, the other one. The yeah. Okay.
I said 5,000. Why is it not?
I guess it's gotten more since you opened the file or something like that. It's being written to. Okay, you can go ahead and stop it.
Same problem.
Yeah, looks like it.
Well, shall I reboot then?
I think that makes sense. That's probably the next
All right.
move.
So. I didn't want to do that.
This is also the system you're on GoToMeeting with.
Yep, of course it is.
So we'll see you on the other side then.
Yeah, back in a flash.
Right.
Chris, maybe just while we're waiting, just ask just a couple of questions. First, do we need? I assume we don't need to use the SA, the system admin ID for SQL Server for the access. We can create our own account or have a different account to do that.
Yeah, that's correct. As long as it has, like, there's some things it needs. Like, it needs to have. Let's see.
DB owner, I saw. Yeah, there was whatever's set for that.
Yeah, like there's some. Let's see. It needs read and write access to the database that, where the tables are. It needs public access to the master database. It needs to be able to execute the. There are some extended store procedures that get created by Shadowbase, but during the config. So it needs to be able to execute those. So that kind of thing. It's just a few permissions that need to be set correctly, but that shouldn't be, anything terribly, it doesn't really need to have that SA privilege. It's just the easiest way to configure easily.
Yeah, just not sure. We just weren't sure about changing we weren't sure what the password is of our SA account either. And I wasn't sure we wanted to change it. Another guy.
Yeah, I gotcha.
We could clone one and give it access.
Yeah, sure.
It's a good idea to disable the SA account.
Yeah, and that's true too. The other thing about the triggers, just from my understanding, the trigger that executes, what is it doing? Is it actually, when a change happens, is it writing to a log file of some sort that then the collector is picking up from, or is it doing something else? Is it calling a process? So what is the trigger?
Right. You know what? Let me just pull up if I can find one, just a sample script of the trigger. It might help. I mean, basically, there's kind of two parts of it. One is that I think what the trigger does is whenever an event occurs on the table, it will generate an event to go into that op call that we were configuring. It goes into that op call's set of doc files, which is its database of change. So it creates a similar event in the op call doc, which can then be used for replication. So it basically, mirrors its own event and tells it, sends it to Shadowbase. That is, I believe, what the trigger does. And then there's a separate kind of thread where that takes care of synchronizing the transactions, making sure that the transactions are in the right order, and that's done by that DLL that gets bound into the database, that takes care of, I think the collector will make, it'll know when events are committed, and it'll, set that correctly in its own internal events that it's replicating. But I think the trigger itself, I think all it does is it does call external procedures, like some, Shadowbase code. But I think what it does is the trigger itself is just responsible for sending the event into Shadowbase.
Okay.
Be replicated.
So it's not, yeah, okay. I was wondering if it was writing to creating some new, we were creating new log files here somehow, and it's just sort of mimicking, the TMF file, log file, and nonstop, and maybe it was writing to log files there. But,
right. It's not quite that sophisticated. I honestly, okay. I'm very fuzzy on all the details of it, but I don't exactly know how it keeps it in sync. I think it does something with the transaction IDs. It stores that into, it stores that into one of those tables that gets created, one of the Shadowbase metadata tables. Okay. It'll handle the transaction IDs, and it'll make sure they're processed in the right order.
Okay. The other thing too, about the license files, the permissions change, it looks like you made for Donald. Do you think we'll need a new one as well?
Actually, I made sure all three of them were good on that second license I sent. One of them was also incorrect. Let me see which one it was.
I don't think I think you just sent it to Donald then, that last one. I don't think I got it.
Did I?
The one you just sent 20 minutes ago, right? That's what I'm talking about. Right.
Yeah. Oh, I sent it to you and Donald, looks like. I didn't put a subject on by mistake.
That's me. I'll forward to John.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, Phil. My mistake.
Yes. People get us mixed up all the time.
Yeah, that's right. That was a good looking one. Yeah, I know.
Let's see, which one did I? Server 2012 guy, is the other one that was
back.
Wrong. Hey.
I'm back.
Hey, Donald.
Okay, so let's go to Gravic. Shadowbase.
I'm locked in there again.
Huh. Interesting. Right. SB Mom won't start.
Okay. You want to share your screen again?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Right. Yeah. We'll need to start that service. There's a Shadowbase service. You can actually set it automatic if you want to, so that you don't have to manually start it every time you reboot the system.
Yep. Phil, you'll need to make me organizer and present screen again.
Yes. Organizer coming up. And screen presenter coming up.
Presenter, por favor. You got it.
It's a Shadowbase service for SBMon. There we go. All right, so now we should be able to start SBMon.
Okay.
There we go. Let's start op call. As long as the database is running, which I think it is. Okay, so it's still happening.
Well, let's try something else just to make sure things are clean.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's there. Don't you see it?
Yeah, it does. Okay, let's go ahead and stop the op call first of all. All right, so why could it not find it? What cannot be found?
You cannot find a variable, or cannot find.
Well, no, it could be there's a dependency that it can't find.
Right. Don't know what that would be.
Do I still have a depends? Used to be a depends tool. Remember what it is.
So, so it cannot. Is complaint cannot find.
Or one of its dependencies, yeah.
DLL or environment variable, which one?
DLL.
And we checked in the DLL in the regedit.
That's what I want is dependency walker. Do I have that? Could have sworn I had this. Do you know what the dependencies are?
I don't offhand now. There's something else we can try, just for the sake of seeing what else. There's kind of another path we can take to try to see this, and that would be to simply do an event into the source table. So that'll tickle the trigger, and that will cause it to start actually kicking off some of the behavior. So we can see if that part is successful as well. That might give us some more answers as well.
All right, now let's do a quick check on this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it started. So who is missing? So it's not finding it in the path. Don't know what that's all about. API dash. Okay, so that should be okay. Interesting.
I know that, you know, through the means of Windows installers, it should install, you know, missing DLLs that are needed for Shadowbase, but I don't know if this is somehow isn't covered by that or something like that.
Well, one of the challenges that I have is that my path variable is too big, basically because of so many different SQL servers.
Yeah, gotcha.
Get rid of something.
Oh, I've tried. I've mucked with this so much, Phil. You'll notice that I've already changed a lot of them to use that instead of the full path to shorten it. Yeah, I suppose I had to try to figure out how to delete some of the SQL Server stuff.
So, are we saying that that's the problem? Is that's?
I don't know, Phil. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
because we didn't add anything to it. We didn't add anything to it.
Right.
Chris, were you saying something, Chris?
Yeah, let's try going back to SQL. Open up Management Studio again. We can try doing an insert into the source table and see if that's a different outcome or not.
Nope, wrong one.
So we want to do insert a row into that table.
Whoops, wrong one. Insert into dbo.test. Test table 1. Let's see, what is it set?
values.
No, we need to give it the columns first, don't we?
You can just say values and give it both. If you, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's give that a shot. Okay, so this gives you the same error. So from both sides, it's still DLL. Huh. Cannot be found.
Silly question, Chris. So is this regular DLL? I mean, there's DTB. I mean, like.
I think so.
Can we try reg server 32 can we register it that way?
No, it's not a registration issue. It's saying it can't. If we look at the dependency walker, he's saying he can't load it because he can't find it. Can't find that guy.
But my question is, if you run it as regserve 32, would you get the same error? Would you be able to register it?
You know. Yeah, so he's.
Okay, so definitely is a problem, right?
Yep.
And so what's the missing DLL? I'm sorry, the dependency thing. What does it show?
It shows a whole pot full of them.
So the open DS60 DLL is there such a thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And is it on the system?
Yeah, it is.
So can we register that?
It's not an issue of registering. It's trying to do a load. That's not the same. Yeah.
So is it registered already?
It's not a registration issue.
When we try to register the Shadowbase DLL, it says a dependency module not there. So my thought is
which one of these do we want? Okay. Do you understand the difference between something that's loaded by registration and something that's loaded by an explicit file name?
I think so.
Well, he's trying to do a load, not trying to do a COM access in all likelihood.
But when we register, trying to register the Shadowbase DLL, we got an error, right?
Well, because it couldn't, because there were dependencies that it had that it could not load.
Can we look at it again?
I'll go ahead, fine, I'll register it, but that's not going to not solve the problem. Okay. I just don't know which one to register. And not only that is, I probably don't want to register them because it'll, if registration is an issue, it'll screw up the other ones. But I'll do it to. Come on. All right. Yeah, see, he's not something that can be registered. Yeah, so it's the fact that he can't find it for some reason.
So what?
So let's see if we do path again.
What if we put it in the same folder as the Shadowbase DLL?
Copy it, yeah, that's a possibility, I suppose.
That one's off the list. Huh.
Wonder where those all are. API.ms-win-core-win-rt-
L110, yeah.
Man, there's a lot of them. Is it also in the I'm just trying to see if there's any in the SQL stuff, why he would be trying to pull that up.
Right. I mean, I know that, you know, the Windows installer will, you know, it's supposed to install missing DLLs that are required for, you know, for Shadowbase to run, because, you know, there are going to be some C++, whatever kind of DLLs that need to be there. And if, you know, if there's no, you know, if say SQL servers, or if Visual Studio isn't installed on the system, then otherwise those DLLs won't be there. So that's why, you know, they get installed as part of the.
Right, but what you'll get is the .NET typically, not necessarily all these other ones. But let's see.
Yeah, right. So I don't know why this guy's having trouble with missing, you know, Windows or
Where'd it
Microsoft
go?
DLL.
What was another one that needed? L1-1.
Yeah.
WinRT. That one.
Yeah.
And then the next one was RoBuffer. RoBuffer and string.
Mm-hmm. Error L1. Decompilations.
Did I miss one?
Error L1.
Error.
Oh yeah. It's 1-1. You need 1-0. The top guy. Yeah.
Oh, that one needs to be 1-0.
Yeah. There we go. They're both there.
Okay. And then we need
Decomp.
D. We don't have a decomp on our system.
What is decomp?
I think I just clicked on the wrong one. Nope. So I ain't got that one.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and just try another insert from SQL Server. To see if it's the same error now as before. Nope.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, same thing. All right. Well, let me real quick. Can you go back to your dependency walker guy? Just want to write down some stuff. Can we take a look at your the folder where the bin directory, the Shadowbase bin directory?
Yeah, hang on a sec. I was just trying to walk it back through to see if I could see what's going on. I can't believe that either one of these would have a trouble. So it looks like your program is explicitly calling those. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. It is.
Anyway, back to the other ones.
Yeah, thanks. And that's when and
You want me to screen capture and send it to you?
yeah, sure, that'd be helpful. Thanks. Assumes the oil. What else we put there? Open DS.
I think that's all we did was down to this guy.
Yeah, right. Cool.
Okay.
Can we
So
take a look at
I'm
your...
stopped dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Just take a look at that SQL Server session. Just want to see that instance of the error.
I was trying to see if I could find a decomp DLL.
Right.
Oh, look at that.
I'm looking at
Wow.
this thing right now.
Yeah.
So C++ runtimes and Visual Studio is talking about.
Say that again.
One link I was seeing was referring to the C++ runtimes, redistributables, and another one was talking about different versions of Visual Studio, which would probably get back to the runtimes again. The C++ redistributables, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we find them onto the system. It's just not finding it in a path that it liked. But we're not getting the decomp at all. It is not on the system. I'm running Windows 7. Does that matter? It's a Windows. So. It says Windows 10 DLL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I thought that the idea is that all the missing DLL should be installed when Shadowbase gets installed. That's part of the Windows installer thing, but.
Now, note that I didn't run setup. I just ran MSI.
That should be fine. Yeah, you went through like the wizard and everything, though.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. That should make no difference. I believe.
I didn't think so. I mean, setup typically just starts it up.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Oh, what was that tool that you used to try to register it, and you got the same error?
Oh, Red Server 32.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
But again, it's that DLL is not one that normally gets registered.
Yeah, right. It was just that confirmed that between that and the dependency walker, it confirmed that it's not just SQL Server can't find the file or something like that. It's that
right.
Even when something is looking right at the file.
But it's certainly interesting that it's the same set.
Yeah,
the only thing we didn't get clicked on was this guy, but this other one was exactly the same.
Yeah. Here's a question. Can you just double check that, or if you know offhand, is it 64-bit OS?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And 64-bit database. I know that you would probably get other errors
Oh yeah.
if it were mixed up. Okay.
Huh.
Can I just take one more look at the error from your Management Studio?
Say that again.
Can I take one more look at the error from trying to do your insert? Yeah, thank you. Let me just. Okay. All right, thanks. Just want to make sure I got that. Okay, so, and let's just double check. Can you do a log of op call and just get the last few thousand rows? There we go, yeah. So that is, cannot load DLL. That's
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's all the same problem. It can't load that DLL.
Yeah, right.
Because there's a missing dependency.
And this is SQL exec direct cycle handle. Okay. All right. I think I have everything I need. Thanks. Yeah. I actually have everything I need to try to do some research on my end.
Like I say, I do not have decomp on my machine anywhere.
Right.
Which is
really
weird.
Yeah, definitely. I don't. Yeah, that's puzzling to me as well. I don't know why that.
Do any of you guys have that machine? Any of you have that?
Let me check. Let me pull one up.
So Donald.
Yeah.
I do have, I was just searching my machine with Chris here, and I mean, I do have that decomp DLL on my machine in several places. One of them's in the Windows 32 folder. There's also in the syswow 64 folder, Windows.
Interesting, yeah.
And a few others too. Now I'm Windows 10, and I have several versions of Visual Studio on my machine.
Yeah, so yeah, I see it. I'm on a Windows server, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, you got it too.
But that's on a different.
I wonder which one I had to grab.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Don't know why I'm in here. Okay, So now if we close this, huh. Isn't that interesting? So decomp must have called in a bunch of those. So who called in decomp?
Wow.
Well, that's weird. So perhaps the one that I pulled, wonder which one I would need. Let's try this one.
Who knows which one, right?
The problem is you have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You need these.
Okay, that didn't help. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
We've got some 32s and some 64s in here.
I think the 32s are, I think that's just naming convention. Like, I think.
No, that's saying when he tried to load it, he said, I tried to load it and something's got is a Win32. Is a 32-bit and not a 64-bit.
Yes, gotcha.
So if we close this and we do a new folder DLLs and we take this and this and this and this and this and that. Okay. Let's see if we get the same error. That's still a puzzle. So he's finding those. I wonder if there's any way to find out which ones they are. Oh, okay, look at that. Okay. Don't know whether you guys can see it, but it shows whether they're 64-bit or not.
Cool, yeah, I see.
Oh, the link one?
So far, all of those are 64-bit, so I don't know what he's complaining about. Because the only one that came up was this guy, unless. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know how to tell.
No, yeah, me neither. Well, theoretically, I'm looking at one of our test boxes. If the search is to be believed, then there's no decomp.dll file on this system. And we've certainly tested our source, SQL Server source on here.
Right.
So I'm wondering if this is some kind of red herring.
No, I moved him out of the way just in case.
Yeah, right. What? Okay. I'm going to try putting that dependency walker on the system.
Oh, yeah, just see what it is.
Yeah. Did you get the x86 or x64 dependency walker guy?
I got 64-bit.
Okay. I will as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so decomp clearly. Yeah, decomp has all of those API stuff in it.
Okay.
Not sure what it is. But it has all the newer versions, so I don't know what to say, Chris. I'm sort of stumped. I guess we'll have to see if the others are going to have the same problem. I mean, I don't know how to fix it.
Right. Yeah. No, I hear you.
All right, so why don't we just stop here and to do two things. One is the maybe you can try the other instances, you know, John's and our new Office website problem. Number two is then Donna, maybe we can do some additional research online to see, you know, what we can come up with. So.
Yeah, Phil.
Okay.
Would you be able to, Phil, sorry, would you be able to make that video, the recording of today, available somehow so I can go through those steps? I was trying to keep up, but we did fell behind. So if I got the video,
yes.
I'll try.
Yeah, but also I guess you know, Donna, when you have a chance, maybe you can share, you know, what record the document also. That would be helpful to John and Chris.
Yes.
Yep.
Well. If we can get those two tests, we'll try on our end too and see what happens.
All right. So, Chris, we will update you on what our progress is, and then if necessary, we'll reach out to you as far as to schedule another call, you know, the next step.
Okay. Yeah. We'll also, you know, just kind of see if we can figure anything out about this error as well.
Okay.
From what I can tell, it looks like, I mean, on this test system, we are kind of getting similar results as you doing the dependency walker. So I'm thinking maybe it's, I don't know. We'll look into it and we'll let you know what we come.
Okay.
So, you're getting the same kind of errors?
Yeah, from
dependency walker.
Dependency walker. I haven't I haven't tried to start up Source Collector again. I'll do that next just to make sure it's working.
Yeah. Yeah. So shoot us an email and see whether you have that same error or not.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I will. Yeah, I'll let you know what we find if we can get.
Well, okay.
more behavior.
Well, thank you very much for your time. So we'll work on it and we'll follow up again. All right. And
All right.
thank you very much, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks, Pat.